do me a favor, don't look too hard at my breakout. Hey guys, so I'm gonna finally give you guys a bit of a tour of the new house. It is not perfect. Crow thinks I'm talking to him. Come here, man. Say hi to Crow. I just work under the assumption that if you're following me here, you're following me elsewhere. But if you're not, you may not have met Crow. He's our newest addition. We got him about 1 year old from our local shelter, and he has been such a little love and a friend of Boo, who we did not want to leave alone for the travels that we had to do earlier this year. And after quite the adjustment period, they are now doing really well. He is the biggest mama's boy and unironically loves to sit like a little baby. Oh man. So this house is not perfectly clean and there's still a lot of stuff we want to do to it, but if I wait for the perfect time, this tour is just never gonna happen. But we are excited about it. We had a very good, very smooth going move. As hard as it was to sell our last house, once it did sell, everything has just been incredible. There's been no problems with this house. It's all been better than we could have hoped for. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys around a bit, and then afterwards we can have a bit of a sit down talk where I can go over my most asked questions. Boo constantly sits up on this ladder and it's actually the cutest thing. So starting with the front deck here, I'm not going to show you guys too much of the outside of the house for safety reasons, but it is a townhouse, so we are close to other houses in the neighborhood. So here is the view upon entering. We are extremely happy with this whole setup. Love this rug. And the bookshelves are just our pride and joy. But there's our little front patio through the window. We have our wedding flowers still, which I think is adorable. This painting specifically we have because it reminds Zach of Doctor Who, the Weeping Angel episode, and it kind of goes with the whole pillar vibe. I don't know how thorough I want to make this tour, but these are also our Unity candles and just some other of the decorations we had at our wedding, which I feel like is a cute little nod to it. Our color scheme too, you can kind of see that it's very reminiscent of our wedding. We painted these walls red, as well as one more wall right here. Before I take you guys this direction, we're gonna go immediately to the right upon entering. That is where we have our washer dryer set up. We have the, what we consider to be the guest bathroom, but it's the downstairs bathroom. It's fairly small, but has everything you would need. And then if we go this way, we have our first bedroom. And this is what we consider both my workout space, my bike's in here and weights and whatnot, and my little outfit of the day mirror that you guys might have seen on Instagram. But we have the guest bedroom, cleaned up, ready to go. I've got some extra blankets and whatnot. But yeah, this is just kind of an extra space, extra storage for us, slash some guest space. This TV we thought might go in here, but I actually think we're gonna put it in the dining room, which I'll show you guys in a moment. But I think on these walls, we've been kind of saving them because I'm working on some bigger art pieces. Bigger than what you guys will see later, but this might be good places to kind of display them and take listing photos, but we'll see. So moving along now to this side of the house, we have the sliding glass door, which I was really excited about because I haven't had a sliding glass door since the house I grew up in. Zach is planning. There's a lot of storage stuff out here. Zach would love to build a storage shed like right here one day, which would be awesome. But we haven't spent much time out here this year, to be honest. Since it's been warm, we have been traveling. But we have this cute little patio space. There is a stray cat that wanders around that we feed occasionally, which is why we got a bowl there. But yeah, it faces these woods, which is really nice. We kind of still, it gives that similar vibe of what we had in the last house without being nearly as remote. But yeah, we like it. It's a nice little place to be. There's my office window. But going back inside, hi girl. By the way, do you guys see the resemblance? And then going on into the kitchen, let me turn on some lights. This is probably the room that we plan on doing the most with. For starters, this light is like way too low. We're gonna switch some stuff out as far as that goes, but we want more chairs like this chair to make this kind of a cozier little sitting area. We have our bar cart here. The cats absolutely love this window, as you can imagine. But this is a nice little sitting area. We're gonna have the TV, we're thinking right here, which is why this stand is here, is that's going to eventually be like the box and remotes and whatnot for the TV. But yeah, this is the little space. And then Zach likes to host and cook, and doing stuff from here is ideal. But here is the kitchen. Nothing too crazy. It is somewhat small, but we like it, and it is a step up from our last kitchen, which was probably our biggest complaint in our last house. One of the first things that we did upon moving is upgrade the fridge. This fridge is giant. I don't know if you can tell in these frames, but let me back up. I don't think my camera liked to focus with the big light on. But there's that space. And then we're gonna go right up these stairs, which I'm working on a bit of a gallery sort of wall up them, but I definitely have room for more art. And this brings us directly to our bedroom. Again, it's small, but in the last house, we really regretted making our biggest room the bedroom when we could have had it as our office. We don't spend a lot of time in the bedroom outside of sleeping and storing our clothing, so this time we switched it up. I'll get to the bathroom in a moment. But this is our office. We have a little coffee station here. And then my workspace. This is both mine and the cat's like favorite spot in the house. It's a great place to work in. I've been very, very happy with it. But yeah, I've kind of made myself a little cubicle kind of setup. This has worked great, and I feel like everything in this room, we really utilize this space to the absolute best of our ability. I kind of like too that this closet is mirrored. It makes the room appear bigger than it is. But I bet you can guess whose space is whose. There's my desk. And I did get the viral like crisscross chair, and I love it. Also, we don't talk about cord management in this house. But here's Zach's setup. And I didn't tell him I was filming this, so this is just the natural state of his desk. Honestly, for a guy's desk, it's not half bad. And then, of course, the cats need a corner. These paintings are a little ghost and a crow, which I thought was really like cute symbolism for Boo and Crow, our cats' names. So because this is the master bedroom, that's why we also have a door directly to this bathroom. There are 2 doors here. But this is our main bathroom. Can't tell if I like it better with the light on or off. But pretty simple. Sink. Toilet, shower, etc. It's really convenient though, having it right next to the office, because I can't emphasize enough how much we spend time-wise in this room versus any other room in the house. We tend to be in here. Oh, and check this out. Zach laughs at me because I've been really into LED lights. But look how cool that is. You can't tell me it's not. Yeah, that's the space. We keep water bowls up here for Boo and Crow, because I find it important to have water on every level. But that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed that little walkthrough. Maybe it makes it easier to visualize the house and the space as a whole. I'm hoping to be on YouTube and social media in general more often going forward. We had quite the crazy start to the year, to say the least. But thank you guys for your patience, and I'm going to sit down now and maybe catch my breath because I'm talking a little fast, and answer some of the questions I got the most when we were moving. All right, so I'm gonna make this quick because I have company who are going to arrive any moment now. But the main question I got is why? And I know that this is such a fair question because most of you followed me, or at least my social media blew up in 2020 during our cross-country move from California to North Carolina. During the time when I think a lot of people were interested in moving remote, especially with COVID and everything going on, I think people wanted to be away from larger cities. And so now, 4 years later, has been 4 years, we moved back, and I want to say first and foremost that I don't regret the move. I am glad it got us over to the east side of the US, because that is something both Zach and I really wanted, and we really have no intention of going back to California probably ever. And so one thing I wanted to clear up too is that we didn't go back to California. Where we moved is actually only 2 hours away. It's just a little bit further west and on the outskirts of a city. We actually live we didn't want to be quite in downtown in the thick of it, and we're in a nice quiet neighborhood but with easy access to anything we would need. But more importantly, we are a lot lower in elevation, and so on average I would say year-round it's about 10 degrees warmer. So that brings me to the 3 biggest reasons that I wanted to move. Of course, this was group decision. Zach, my husband, has his own reasons as well, but most of our reasons overlap in some way, if not are shared. Being higher in elevation in the mountains, we were at 3,500 feet elevation. We had 6-month winters, 6 months of barren, of really cold, of just more intense winters than I've ever had. I feel like it's one of those things that you don't know how winters are gonna go for you until you've experienced them. And I genuinely think it would have been okay if they were shorter, but that long was just really wearing on me mentally. And I am not one who likes to be cold. I like winter because if you have winter, you have the seasons surrounding it. I really enjoy spring, and I'm a fall fanatic, but such a long winter was just too much. For instance, up there, by the time Halloween hits, it's done. It looks like the dead of winter, like falls over, and we didn't see the first growth. Well, the farmers of the area don't plant till after Mother's Day, essentially. It doesn't happen till like late May, and that is just too long for me, too long to be too cold. But again, each of these reasons weren't enough on their own, so it's kind of a build-up. The next 2 kind of go hand in hand, and they are ones I share with Zach in that it was a commute to go anywhere, and during COVID that didn't matter. My battery died, my bad. I think I was talking about the last 2 reasons for the move. Like I said before, they go kind of hand in hand in that everything was a commute. And that being said, during COVID, this really was not a big deal at all, because we'd go grocery shopping once a week, maybe. We would try to push it as much as we could, go bulk shopping, that kind of thing, because no one wanted to be out during the peak of it all. So it was not a big deal. but it got really wearing, especially the more Zach got into cooking. He wants to get fresh ingredients, and I kept having more appointments, especially with the wedding coming up and a few other things we had going on. I just had a lot more appointments in town, and so the drive back and forth was just getting really wearing and really annoying, more than anything else. And then especially when it would snow, it was dangerous to drive up and down the mountain, and so we would have to plan around snow. And with the longer winters, as you can see, it all kind of comes together to just be really, really inconvenient. But people do it all the time. People have cars and tires better built for that kind of thing, or just simply used to it because they were born there, and it's just the norm. For us, it wasn't for us. And I think that's the point of this, is that there was nothing bad with living there, and there still is nothing bad with living there. It just isn't for everyone. And the more that things opened up, that brings me to our second reasoning. It is very hard to have a social life when you're that far away from people, and especially Zach is a very outgoing person, and then I also have social needs. Who doesn't? And especially the more we wanted to do things and take classes and be a part of the community, it again was just really wearing and not something that we wanted to do. It was hard to go see friends and want to stay out with them, or like go to the next person's house and, you know, hang out for long periods of time when we were thinking about how we would have to drive home after. And as our friends got less and less online, because again, this was a non-issue during COVID. You didn't go to your friend's house. Everyone was social distancing, and so all of our friends were chronically online, and we were gaming all the time, and it was just not an issue. And then things start opening back up, and people start going back out and living their life, and doing that part of it was just really hard where we were at. And if we wanted to kind of close ourselves off to the rest of the world and live our happy little lives with just us two, that would be one thing. And I think maybe if we were at retirement age, it could have been more doable, at least that part of it. But we're not, and we like to host and go out and do things. So yeah, I think that those are the main things. Nothing crazy bad, again, just personal preference. And this location just fits what we want out of life at this time easier. And just kind of have the best of both worlds. It's a better balance. And I feel like I'm always preaching balance to myself in my own life. And life just felt really out of balance for us in the last house. Where here, I can, you know, go to Pilates or go get coffee with a friend without having to consider if it's worth the drive. I can go hiking still. It's a very nature-friendly city that we're in. And I also feel like I still have that peaceful feeling that remote living gave me, where I love our back patio and my little corner upstairs. I still have that kind of calming feeling without the stress of, you know, winter's coming and feeling, I don't know, feeling stuck. I have cell service here. I have access to Uber. We have trash service. All these little things that we didn't have living where we did. So anyways, it's made our life easier, and I think that's something that is kind of glossed over when people romanticize living remote, is that sometimes living more in a city, even if it's on the outskirts, you know, suburbs, you know, a quiet neighborhood, it doesn't have to be downtown, right? But living in a city can just bring you so much peace of mind, where I can call someone if something breaks because, you know, we have local people here. And sometimes having modern conveniences, again, like cell service, and having local businesses around that can help you with whatever you need, sometimes that is just so much weight off the mind. And I don't know, I feel if anything more, hi. I feel if anything more of a peaceful headspace now than I used to. And again, so anyways, I will say, again, I think that that was the best place for us for that time. I think spending COVID where we did was wonderful. I would do it again. It got us to the East Coast. I feel like the time period of COVID was such a niche experience and varied from person to person dramatically, but I think I did a lot of self-reflection and self-healing during that time. I feel more in touch with who I am as a person. Okay, anyways, I'm rambling. So I guess the one other thing I wanted to mention is that we really like this house, this space. We love being in a 2-story, way more than we thought we ever would. We have central air and heat here, which we didn't have in the old house. It's a newer build in general. It's a 2018 instead of very old like our last house. What are you doing, man? Are you trying to lay on top? Oh my god. What? I keep getting so distracted by this cat. When I tell you these cats have 2 very, very different personalities. So anyways, I think it's my cat's dinner time. We're really happy with this space. And though I don't think this is the last house we'll ever be in, I do foresee us being here a while. And I think it's lifted a lot off of both of our shoulders. I think that we have felt a lot lighter since being here and just a lot happier, a lot more optimistic, I guess. But again, I really don't want to drag the last house or the location in which it's in because it is perfect for someone else. And in that same way, this house is perfect for me and the chapter of life I'm in right now, where it's not perfect for everyone either. You just have to find what fits you and where you're at in life right now. I think that's all I have to say on the subject. I guess I'll end this with saying if you're unhappy, don't be scared to move. I moved out at 18 and drove like 9 hours away from my childhood home, and I feel like I've been moving ever since. I have loved every location I have been for that part of my life. I think each experience was incredible, and I wouldn't trade each of them for the world. I think it's important to not let the fear of the unknown keep you rooted in a spot where you're not happy anymore. I will preach that till the day I die. You're never trapped. It might be really hard, and even if it's not the move that you want in the long run, because I know moves can be expensive, and I know that there's a lot that goes into them, and but baby steps, I think working towards going where you are happiest is really important. I think that this is where I'm going to end it. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions or, I don't know, any suggestions on what to do with this account, because I don't know anymore. Yeah, I'm not the most entertaining person in the world, nor the most intelligent, but I try to give you that kind of big sisterly advice that I have to offer. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope you are well. Thanks for watching, and I will see you somewhere on the internet. Love you guys. By the way, what you see here and here, Book Nook restock is happening on June 14th. If you missed the previous restock, set your alarms. It went way faster than I expected last time, and even though I made twice the amount, so I'm hoping that they'll stick around for a little bit. Yeah, there's your heads up. Thank you guys.